what more do you think you'd want to add to what we know about what happened on those steps?
Well, I think that the important part here is the context, because this doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? There's a lot going on right now. We have a pandemic that's killing people all over the country. It's spreading wildly. We have an economic recession that could quickly devolve into a depression. And there's a lot of things happening on Capitol Hill to address these things. And so in that context, what happened on Monday on the Capitol steps is on the surface very small. But as you saw 3 days later, there are a lot of people in Congress who don't think so. And of course, this is happening in just a couple months after George Floyd has died. There's these protests all over the country. They're screaming on the streets literally for racial justice. And so to have this image of a 65-year-old white man from North Central Florida berating a 30-year-old Hispanic woman from the Bronx about policing, about criminal justice, about crime, about all these issues that touch on so many kind of explosive issues of race and ethnicity and culture and age and party and you go down the list. This is why it touched a nerve, I think, and that's what you saw on the House floor today. You saw that Ocasio-Cortez was not going to go down without a fight. Of course, she is no wilting flower. She's never gone down without a fight. But in this case, the party leaders were behind her. She did not go on the floor for an hour today without the stamp of approval from Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And obviously, the Women's Caucus was behind her. The Black Caucus was behind her. You saw Steny Hoyer on the floor behind her. So this, in the context of all of this, it's a much larger story. And that is the point that she is trying to make. That's the point the Democrats are trying to make. And the apology that they say is not an apology. And you saw Kevin McCarthy. You said there was silence from the Republicans. Not quite. Kevin McCarthy was asked about it today, and he said that Mr. Yoho had apologized. Why can't we?
Right, he lied. Yeah. I saw Kevin McCarthy lie about it, and I wasn't going about that there was an apology. There wasn't. You can look at the language of Yoho's words. There's no apology to the Congresswoman in it. But Mike, let me just get the bookkeeping point done here. The accuracy of your reporting, the accuracy of the way the Congresswoman described it on the floor today.
1,000% accurate, without a doubt, in my mind. She was going up the stairs. He was coming down the stairs. This was the first vote after they'd been gone for a couple weeks for the 4th of July recess. This was the first vote when they came back. It was Monday morning. And they were having this conversation on the stairs at the Capitol. I could tell that it was less than cordial. You could see that after not too long. You could see that they were talking about policing, crime, poverty, and they had some choice words for each other. But nothing. There were no curse words that I heard to each other's face. And as she went up the stairs to go vote, and he came down the stairs towards me, you could hear very clearly that he said those words. Again, I want to emphasize that they were not to her directly. They were not to her face, but they were a reference to her, and that is what has touched a nerve.